Nate the Train Landwehr versus Morgan Charrière. Listen, you get Nate the Train in Nashville, in Tennessee. The thing you're looking forward to the most is the post-fight speech. That's really the star of the show. That's the main event.
Hold on! My mama ain't raised no baby!
That the people want to see. But let's keep it real, man. Nate is fighting for relevance right here in his division at featherweight. At one point, the man was riding a 3-fight win streak over Ludovic Klein, David Onama, and Austin Lingo. Lingo's the odd man out right there. That wasn't the most exciting, but those two names were big. You lose to Ige, you bounce back with knocking out Jamal Emmers after you were pretty much finished yourself earlier in the fight. And then Do Ho Choi takes him to ground and pound town and just kind of, gets him out of there right there. So you have a guy fighting for relevance right here versus another guy who is fighting to make sure that the hype was real, man. Morgan Charrière, everyone was hyping him up. Cage Warriors champion. I was hyping him up, saying this dude is so good. But you come in, you win your debut, lose to Chepe Mariscal, beat Gabriel Miranda, and then Nathaniel Wood makes you look like you're not even on the same level. I have some thoughts on this one, but I want to know your thoughts on this matchup right here. Is this a gimme fight for either one of these fighters, or do you see this being a levels style of fight?
No, I see this being a level style of fight, Derek, because I don't think either one. They both have situations where they're going to dominate in, right? Like if you let Nate Landwehr get in there and have a bar fight, he's going to win 10 times out of 10. You put Morgan Charrière in there and he's able to have a technical style, really work some moves, put some combos together and evade. He's going to be way better at that as well. But man, with this one, how it's going to clash out in those middle transitions because of how wild Nate Landwehr is and willing to press the fight. This is like a put up or shut up fight if you're Charrière, right? And kind of for both of them as well. For Nate Landwehr, like you said, he needs to be relevant. And that goes to that exact thing. Like, can you be that crazy man? Can you be that wild man and still be relevant in this? Or are you just a fun fighter? Which really at the end of the day, unless you're Derek Lewis, kind of fades out into existence. Morgan Charrière has the problem of, I need to show that I'm elite, which is a little bit different of a fight, but man, it's going to be interesting who comes out on top.
Yeah, man, you got to look at the age discrepancy too. 37 years old for Landwehr. He's making his run a little bit late. Charrière, 29, arguably haven't even entered your prime yet, and the man already has 11 losses. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying it to where it's like you got a lot of experience right there. You've won a bunch, you've lost a bunch, and 10 of those losses are by decision right there. So it's not like you're getting cracked. If you're looking at Landwehr, losing that knockout to Do Ho Choi, getting dropped the way that he did in that fight against Emmers, losing to Dan Ige, losing to Julian Erosa. You remember that fight right there where we were all over Landwehr and the dude just got flying kneed out in the first round. Like, those types of losses are going to make those bar fights a little bit harder the longer that you go. But I don't think Charrière is going to give him that. And this is really my big point here. Nate the Train, what does he do? He gets in your face and he throws up a volume style of fight. He wants to land, he wants to throw big shots, but his guard is not the greatest guard. I mean, striking defense, as you can see here, 53%. You block more than you don't, but that's still not a fantastic percentage to hold. Same thing for Charrière, but I think that the problems that Nathaniel Wood gave Charrière that made him look so poor in his last outing is that you can't hit what you can't touch. Landwehr is going to be there. You don't got to track him down. He's going to get in your face. So it's a matter of, can you hit and not get touched on the back end right there? Let's incorporate a little bit of grappling on top of it. I think that's why they're tracking him as such a heavy favorite right now, as minus 270. I just think Landwehr is a little slower, a little older, and I don't know if he'll be able to hang tit for tat in a striking matchup right here, especially with that high guard, because we know Charrière likes to dig to the body as well. Do you think the line should be closer, or do you think that's a fair assessment there?
I was expecting the line to be closer, Derek. I was expecting more of a 175 plus 130, 150 comeback. I do see why, especially on paper. If you're looking at this, you would think Morgan Charrière is that much of a favorite, especially as of late. I mean, even that last loss against Nathaniel Wood, as I'm in full agreement with you, that was a levels fight where you did not even look like you belonged in the cage. He is still very, very talented and a young prospect. And like you said, man, 20 and 11 at, what was he, 22, 29? Man, this kid this kid has so many fights under his belt and still has such a long career to go. If he's able to put on a star kind of performance, right, a masterclass of striking, wrestling, put it together and really put on a performance out here against Nate the Train, this is going to speak levels, but I do think it's going to be one of the hardest fights he's had. And that's even losing a very difficult fight last time.
Yeah. That's kind of my X factor for Landwehr. If you could push the pace for 15 straight minutes, not a warm up for the first 5, and no, push the pace for 15 straight minutes. Don't let Charrière dictate range. I think he gasses out, and I think Landwehr could win this fight. But if that doesn't happen, I got to go with Charrière here, man. He's got more tools. If you look at all of the factors that you could track, if I had a clipboard and I had all of the different intangibles to track, aside from being a straight dog, Charrière checks all the boxes right here. So I just think like you can't bet with emotion. You gotta bet with your what would you say, with your wisdom? I don't know, man. You know what I'm trying to say right here. Bet with the smart strategy. Don't just bet on the hometown hero. Over is 2.5. That's the total right there. Minus 156 for the over, plus 124 for the under. I'm feeling the over on this one, man. 150. I don't think that's bad right there. What do you see?
I don't think it's bad right there because I do think and I agree with you, Derek, all the boxes are checked for Morgan Charrière. The only box that isn't is that dog category, and we got to really see it right here. I think that putting that to the test, especially with how Nate Landwehr is going to bring the fight no matter what, and it depends on how he brings the fight. But I mean, in those moments of chaos, we're going to see Charrière have to do something different. I think it's going to lead to a longer fight. I like the over right here. I like Morgan Charrière as well. I think it's a long time in the UFC ahead of him, and he's going to polish those skills even more.
That's right. Again, not one that I would throw in a parlay right here, but I'm going to take the Charrière money line, stay away from the props. But let's not forget, though, I will say, man, the last time that he got in a pocket exchange, a real pocket exchange, he got dropped by Nathaniel Wood. So if Nate the Train hits you, I don't know. We'll see what happens right there. All right, man, let's move on to the next matchup right here.